whenever they were showing it on black and white TV, and women were out in the streets and they were marching and they were protesting and doing all this stuff, you might have seen these cigarettes and saw it as a very organic symbol of that freedom. But later on in his memoir, he confessed and talked out loud about how this was an element of puppeteering that he was in. And to kind of to what you were talking about, I think that's like the dangerous side of it, because people are social animals, and that's how we collectively survive and create all the wonderful things that we do. But that desire to be social, to be socially accepted, it could lead to a level of control at the same time. Yeah, but I think that's a really interesting idea. I think I have heard like a little bit about the red table, the red pill, like the red table is, what the red table is. But I have heard about like the red pill guys, but I haven't like, I don't know a whole bunch about
You said something about survival.
it. Yeah.
I think that I have to agree with that because even when a woman says, I'm independent, or if you look at a melanated brother who has repeated like the same cycle over and over outside in the street where they're basically doing whatever it is they doing. That brother is showing another one how to do the exact same thing, and then the pattern just continues to go on and on and on. I was in a Uber one day, and I was having a conversation with someone. And I said, them people that's out here in front of this liquor store, I went to high school with these people, but they must have saw the same people we saw when we were in high school doing what they doing now, and it's like this mindset where you're programmed to think that all you can do is stay in one place or in one element. That's the only way that you're going to survive or become any type of success story, because it's designed and set up where you're only good enough to do this. You're not smart enough, or you're not capable of being in a office or taking your gifts and your talents to another state. You're not good enough to be around the translucent people. You can't rap or sing or whatever it is. You can't do that. All you're ever going to be able to do is stand right here in front of this liquor store, sell whatever you're going to sell, and X, Y, and Z. And the same thing goes with a lot of women who move in this herd of, he has to make six figures, he has to be this tall, and he has to have these type of bone structures and this type of feature, and you you see it all the time, and it's like, where did that come from? And I gotta say, for it is definitely a you touched on it a lot, especially when you said survival.
Yeah. Was really interesting to me is so one of the main things that I really write about is mental health in the work that I do. And that's something that's like near and dear to my heart, because I've known a lot of people who have kind of struggled with this. And I think um, a lot of times people think about it as something that's really binary. Either you are sane or you're insane type of deal. Either you're schizophrenic or you are, you know, a regular everyday person. But just like with your physical health, there's degrees to it. You know what I'm saying? You're strong, but you can get stronger. You fast, but you can get faster. Maybe you don't have a cold right now, but that doesn't mean that your system is working as efficiently as it possibly can. And along that spectrum, I really feel like it's where people can make mistakes because I really believe that everybody wants to do the right thing, even people who do the most egregious and negligent wrong things. Somehow or another, they have attached their bad habits to a positive outcome, and you never know where it really comes from with people. But I see a lot of this stuff online, which is really interesting to me. I see a lot of this stuff online, and there's this narrative that goes on a lot about men and women, and specifically black men and black women. And in a way, kind of to me, it all kind of adds up to why we shouldn't like each other, or why we should be against each other. But I think sometimes it's what's important because for me personally, so I said I was raised in a family with a whole lot of women. My mom was one of 9 kids. Um, 7 of them are women, and I got a lot of cousins that are all females, older than me, and a lot of really strong. Like my mom was a sales executive in the '90s, working with Pacific Bell. She was a high ranking sales executive. My auntie was a real estate. Uh, she was one of the top real estate brokers in the state of California. I mean, you go see her now; she still has like a wall full of like awards and stuff that are given to her. I got a cousin uh, who worked with Connie Rice, who's not Condoleezza Rice, but Connie Rice in the Jordan Down projects in Watts doing reform. So this is a female, my cousin who is a Stanford graduate, female. She went down to the projects in Watts, and was like spearheading reform, leading like active gang members and racist police at the same time, like teaching classes to these racist police and organizing orchestrating these gang members and just like cool ass women at the same time. So a lot of times I see stuff and I see a lot of representation in the media about like who these women are, what these women do, or whatever. But I'll tell you, and I live in LA, and I know some of them, but most of the women that I know, you know, smart, sharp, you know, intelligent, know how to think for themselves, and are not necessarily on that group thing. But I think that there is, to your point, I think that there definitely is like a much younger generation of people in general, male and women, who are a lot more easily influenced because they are all a part of social media. Because you were asking, like, well, where does this come from? I really feel like this social media thing has everybody kind of on the same pattern. And I say one thing that I say a lot is like, and when I'm talking to people, I'm like, man, when I was younger and I was listening to rap music, for example, it used to be very distinct. Like, this person is from this neighborhood. And when they go out and they rap, they're talking about their personal upbringing experiences. And when I write as a writer, I'm talking about the dudes that I grew up around that influenced me that I thought was cool. You know what I'm saying? But I think that right now, so many people like are blind to what's right in front of them and so heavily influenced by the media, especially younger people who were raised and are more susceptible to what they see on social media. Because I see social media and I'm like, this is a goddamn lie. Just like I'm telling you, like about like with this way that I see like black people and black relationships getting represented. I'm like, this is a goddamn lie. You know what I'm saying? Is it women out there who's trying to get their money up? Okay, sure. Is it a gang of dudes out there that's trying to get laid? Okay, sure. But like, are they not like intelligent, people, do they not have like emotions and goals and desires at the same time that offset that one characteristic that you might be able to find on them, you know? But yeah, I think that when I encounter people who are more invested in social media and more susceptible to it, they don't feel that way. And I saw a similar thing like with my with my parents in their age group, like when they would see stuff on the news, you know what I mean? Like they see something on the news and they're like, "Oh, you better watch out! It's somebody going around stealing bikes or whatever." I saw it on 10 o'clock news type of thing, you know. And the information doesn't come from them going outside and what they see, but like what the screen is kind of telling them. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that like when it comes to
Let
it,
me
like
see.
with the now go ahead. You got a little lag between us, I think.
I was just gonna say, real quick. Maybe let me know if I'm wrong or not. There's a YouTube clip that pops up in my story feed very so often, and he's a dog trainer, and he basically is showing the audience how he trains his puppies, and what he will do is he will take one piece of chicken. He will make sure that he worked them, that they're hungry.
Mm,
He'll dangle that piece of chicken over, let's say, a 5 foot high structure that's designed to exercise and work the muscles of the dogs. If they want that piece of chicken, they're going to have to work for it. So what he does is he takes that piece of chicken, he dangles it over their cage. They sniff it. They're amped. They're starving. They're ready. He'll open the cage. They'll run out. He'll put it up on top of whatever it is, and they're fighting, they're scratching, they're doing everything that they possibly can to get to it. That's how I feel we've been put in, so to speak, for different reasons. Everybody has their own direction. Some people want wealth, some people want love, some people want adoration, some people want success, some people just want to see other people fail. All in all, somebody is hungry and starving, looking for something, and whoever's in power or has the ability to propagate these ideas, create a infrastructure, a blueprint, and they're able to outsource all of these different ideas to the general public based
mm,
on what they know the desires are of the person's flesh and heart. They attack it meticulously, and that's exactly why I say that the internet is one of those platforms where you see it a lot. Actually, it's amplified it.
absolutely. Yeah.
I just wanted to add that in there.
Man, everything on the internet. I mean, you can't go 5 seconds without seeing somebody ass and titties or somebody car or somebody, in the club, and you know, they put most people got to get up and go to work every day, and you know, it's always this idea or this thing that's dangled in front of that carrot on the stick in front of you that you know, what about being rich and wealthy and free all the time? And yeah, I think that you're absolutely right in what you're saying. I mean, people are constantly being told, that what they have is not enough. And it's a back. It's kind of circling back to what you was talking about earlier. It's like a devaluation of the family structure. I saw, I saw this clip. I think it's a show called Them that comes on Amazon. But there's like a clip that's going viral that I see like on social media a couple of times, and it's these white people at a table and they're talking about like black people, and they have this one part where they're saying like, you gotta let at least one or two black people um, into white society because that's how you neutralize them. Because if you leave them all lumped up together, then they're going to grow to, you know, resent us and what we have. And they're going to start wanting to build for themselves. And so what you got to do is you got to create these degrees of separation.